I'm Toby Griffin, and this is my oral presentation. Do you believe actions speak louder than words? My cartoon drawing says so. Have you ever been in a conversation when you thought that the person's body language doesn't match what they're saying? It leaves you a little confused and not sure about the sincerity of what that person is saying. Your nonverbal communication skills are very important. They set the stage for the conversation, they emphasize the emotion behind what you're saying, and they lend credibility to what you're saying. There are two parts to communication. There's verbal, which is dependent on your background, your cultural background and social background. There's nonverbal, and that's instinctual. Doesn't matter what language you speak or what your social level is. Most people are going to interpret a smile as being happy and a frown as not. There are many parts to nonverbal communication, two of them being proxemics and gestures. We'll talk about proxemics, that is the distance between the speaker and the listener. This is going to let you know how personal the conversation is and the opportunity of whether or not there will be physical contact, or the possibility of physical contact. The public zone is greater than 12 feet. In auditoriums, there's no chance of public personal contact. There's no, you're not obligated to acknowledge everybody in the crowd. The social zone is 4 to 12 feet. That is kind of the same, but if you're closer within the 4 to 5 foot range, you may speak or wave at the person, but you're not going to have a personal conversation at that distance. If you find that you do want to have a personal conversation with that person, you will tend to step a little bit closer. That's going to put you within the 2 to 4 foot range, and that is the personal space or the personal bubble. That is the best distance to have a casual conversation. It is the best to be heard and to hear that person. It is the easiest to identify the nonverbal cues and be able to interpret them for the conversation. A lot of people don't like this distance or this space because it does offer the opportunity for physical contact. You're close enough for a handshake or a pat on the back or even a tap on the arm. The intimate space is a little bit closer. That's going to be more for your private conversations, not where you're going to have a casual conversation at. Another powerful element is gestures. They can be interpreted as positive or negative. They can send a message all on their own without any words being used. Your body posture is going to set the stage for the conversation. If you're stiff and guarded, it tells your listener that you're very uncomfortable with the information that you're given. If you are more relaxed, then they are more apt to also be relaxed and receptive to what you're saying. Head tilting shows that you're interested in the topic on both the speaker and the listener's side. Your facial expression is the most telling. It's also the most difficult to keep under control sometimes. A smile or a frown can change your entire facial expression. Also, being angry or worried will show on your face, and often people will know that before you have ever said anything. Eye contact, I feel, is the strongest of the nonverbal communication skills. You can have an entire conversation with just your eyes. You send and receive information with your eyes. You are able to pick up on the nonverbal cues and interpret them just using your eyes. The speaker will maintain eye contact with the audience, and that lends to the sincerity of the topic that the speaker is talking about. Good communication is clear communication, and clear communication is good communication. Be aware of your nonverbal communication skills. They are instinctual. Stand at the appropriate distance for the relationship. Also maintain eye contact and make sure your facial expression mimics the emotion behind the conversation. If, on this cartoon, he has a smile on his face and steps a little bit closer, maybe even touches her on the arm, she's more apt to believe what he is saying. Do not leave your listener confused. Actions do speak louder than words.